today. I'm Lynn Smith of lynnmsmith.com and creator of the course, The Magic of Self-Love. Welcome to part 3. We talked about it. We had part 1 on Monday and part 2 on Tuesday. And if you missed those broadcasts, I put them up on my blog. Darcy, hey, thanks for joining. You're always such a great support. So if you go to lynnmsmith.com, you'll find parts 1 and 2. And thank you everybody for joining, and thank you for sharing this out. What I want to talk about today as the final part, which will also be in my blog later if you didn't catch the whole thing, is I want to talk about the idea of forgiveness and being your own best friend. And there's a special twist I'm talking about on this. I want you to think for a second. When your best friend comes to you because something went wrong, she made a mistake, she blew it, it may not even be a little mistake, it may be something really big. And she is just upset and she's beating herself up and like, how could I have done this? I was so stupid, I should have planned this better. How do you react to that? What do you say to her? Do you join in and berating her and telling her she was stupid and she should have done better? Or do you support her? Do you talk to her in a way a best friend does? And you console her with comments like, you really did the best you could. You were really trying hard. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I'm so sorry this went wrong. But this will pass. It'll be okay. You'll get on the other side of this. Is that the way you talk to your best friend? And you're probably going, yeah, I support my best friend. She supports me. But I want to ask you this. How do you react to you, those voices in your head, when you screw up? Do you give yourself the same kind of love and consideration that you give your best friend? I'm going to go so far as to say no. As women, we've got this inner dialogue that's constantly telling us our shortcomings, constantly telling us where we messed up. And when we screw up, those inner voices get really brutal. They start telling us nasty things, words we would never speak to our best friend. And if you wouldn't speak them to your best friend, why are you speaking them to you? And this is really important because as far as this concept of making 2017 your best life ever, we all are looking to have more fulfilling lives. We're all looking for more happiness. But you know what? That fulfillment and that happiness comes from self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is an inside job. It's not predicated on circumstance. It's not predicated on people. It's all on you. The good news about that is that means you're in the driver's seat. You don't have to wait for events to happen. You don't have to wait for people to show up to start changing that. And the thing with a big element of self-acceptance is this idea of self-forgiveness. I do a lot of this kind of work with my clients. I've done a lot of it on myself. And when we really start to dig into that, when you really allow yourself to that inner dialogue to say, you know what, that was a major fuck up. Yes, it was. But I was doing the best that I could with what I had to work with at the time. And when you can start getting into that place of treating yourself like you would treat your best friend, it just frees up so much energy. I know this from my own experience and my own personal work. I know this from experience with clients. You feel lighter. It's this huge load off of you. You feel this relief. And the thing about making 2017 your best year ever, it falls on you. Happiness, fulfillment, these are all feelings. Feelings come from the inside. Feelings can't be bought. Items don't bring feelings. Circumstance doesn't bring feelings. People don't bring feelings. Feelings come from the inside. And like I said, the good news about this is it means you are in the power seat. You are in the position to change those things. You are in the position to start feeling more happiness, more fulfillment, because it's not predicated on anybody else. You don't have to wait for things. You are in the driver's seat on this. And one thing about this whole concept of self-forgiveness, it can be a little hard to get started. It took me a long time in my own personal journey it's like that self-forgiveness was like one of the last pieces that I was willing to look at. Because self-forgiveness means you're looking at your mistakes. And the thing about women, we are really bad for this. We'll beat ourselves up and say really nasty things to ourselves for something that happened today. But we will also beat ourselves up for things that happened last week and last year and 10 years ago, because we carry the guilt from it. And that guilt is evidence that we haven't forgiven ourselves. I mean, do you see how this energy can just start wearing you down over time? And a real key to living your best life now, to making this year, your best life, your best year ever, comes from that journey inward. And I know that it can be kind of scary. For a long time, I was really scared to look inside, because I didn't want to see who I was. I didn't want to see what was lurking deep down inside there. And the thing about that, I wouldn't let myself see the bad, but because of that, because I wouldn't look inward, I also would not let myself see the good. So by not looking inward, by not working on self-acceptance, you're also missing out on a lot of your gifts and talents. So what I want to offer you, this whole concept of self-forgiveness, like I said, it can be a little difficult to get started on it. I have a 5-part course on my website, and it's called the Essence of Self-Love. One of those days in that 5-part course is an exercise on self-forgiveness, one that I've used on me, one that I've used and worked with clients. And I want to offer it to you, and it's totally free. And if you go to lynnmsmith.com, you'll see in the upper right corner is a place where you can sign up for it. But this whole idea of bringing in more happiness and more fulfillment and more contentment in your life, it all comes from the inside. And let me help you with that. Sign up for this course. I think it's day 3 that is the exercise on self-forgiveness. And the really cool thing about doing this kind of work is it helps to do this like kind of up-leveling inside. And once you start making these shifts, you've made those shifts. And then you're ready to make more shifts. And you're ready to bring in more happiness and more pleasure and more joy, because joy definitely comes from the inside. So I want to thank you for being here for part 3. And like I said, you can go to my website and you can get the course. And you can also go to my website on my blog and catch parts 1 and 2 if you missed them. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for listening to me. I will talk to you all later. Bye.